let's talk about the recording tools. All right, and so with the recording tools, right, it's down on the bottom, down here, as you can kind of see. So first thing you want to see is a recording button, right? So if you push that, it then starts recording my voice. What I highly recommend, and I didn't necessarily prepare it. Oh, I have left them over there. But what I highly recommend is that you would actually use kind of headphones with a microphone because you can get it close to your mouth. What I recommend is like hanging it on your shirt or putting it in your ears. But if you don't know where someone's ears have been, you want to then put it just in your shirt so it's there closer to your mouth. The iPads have different microphones coming from different directions, right? And so the other microphone is made essentially just to pick up voice that's in that close vicinity. So often earbuds or whatever they are, those are best to use with your recording. So I would highly recommend doing that audio-wise. Then you can see here, this is your mute button. So if you're recording something, because what it does when you're recording is you're recording both the video as well as whatever's on the screen, as well as the audio all at once. All right, and so that's important to know. So when I'm doing that, so I'm going to just record a little bit more, and I'm going to write again. Looks like a practice. Actually, I think I want to move this field all over. Perfect. I'm going to then go ahead and change my color, and it looks like they're doing some sort of drill. All right. So I'm going to hit pause, and so that means I'm not recording right now. But what I'll do, right, is if I go and I click this caret, it will basically show me what I've done. Now, since I've been muted for this last part, right, let me show you. So here's what a waveform was. This is when I was recording and it wasn't muted. Then it shows me I was just doing different writings, and you can see as I scroll across, right, with this little red line, that's your playhead, right? So that's where it's showing you what you're doing. That shows me my movements, shows me where I'm writing, even every specific stroke. This is like when I was talking at the beginning, right? And so I'm going to unmute that just to make sure I don't in the future. All right, and so that's important to know. What you also see, like I kind of was explaining, is that there's two timelines. The bottom timeline is your audio timeline. The top one is your movements and writings and all of those things. On this right-hand side, you can see these locks. Those allow you to lock down either the audio or the video so it can't be messed with. And there's reasons you'd want to do that. So, for example, I click it, and that means if I re-record something, my audio will stay exactly as it was. Or I could lock the top, and the movements would stay exactly as it was. So maybe I want to kind of re-narrate what I was talking about or what I was doing. I could do that by locking down the video part, but not the audio part. Especially if you have a script or something, what I would recommend doing if you have a script and then you want to do movements to kind of go with it. You might, for example, want to essentially just do the audio first. That way you make sure you get it as you want it. Then you would lock it down. And then you would just do the movements as you press play and record, as you press record. And then what you can do, and I'll show you. So I press record and it kind of gives me these options, okay? And so I want to explain what those mean. Overwrite means that it basically will just redo everything that you've done. You have to kind of redo if it's not locked down. So, for example, I'm already locked down my audio, so that means I won't be redoing my audio. I will be redoing everything else. Mix will actually just make another layer so it would keep what I've already done, but then I'm adding more to it. This could be really good if I'm trying to show some sort of animation and I want to have multiple moving aspects, and I could kind of just keep redoing mixes and add. Or if you want to sing row, 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 row your boat to shore, this would be a great way to do it. But you just need to make sure you unlock your audio when you do that, and you can kind of do working around. I doubt many people would take me up on that, but that's okay. So, but what I'm going to do now is overwrite. So now what it's doing
my voice.
Is allowing me to kind of do these things that I was doing before. So actually, yeah, we're going to talk about this practice. Talking about practice.
What I highly recommend
we're doing drills.
That you would actually use kind of
headphones. They're going to kick goals.
Because you can get it close to your mouth.
What
I
recommend
is like hanging it on
Later
your
on, I'll
shirt
have my striker up here. And I'll have a defensive MIDI here, right? So I'm going through. I'm adding all these all this.
The iPads have so many have different microphones coming from different directions,
right?
And
so
the other microphone is maybe essentially just pick up voice that's in that close vicinity. So often,
right back and my left back. All right, so
are,
all these things I'm doing right. When I go back, it's only seeing my words. It isn't doing what I said over there that time, right? And so I locked down the audio, but then I had new writing on top. All right. And as you can see, if I go past, remember how I had a lot of other stuff before? It undid all that. Because it went on top of it. So that's good to know. All right, so that is recording and overwrite mix. But let's kind of break down the timeline a little bit more. And what I want to do actually from here, and actually, I want to do a movement just so you could
whatever they are. Those are.
I want to hit mix, see how it has the plus sign. That shows you're mixing. So maybe what I want to do is I want to bring an image of myself in. Cool. Right, and that's going to be part of this, right? And so, okay. So with that, let's kind of look at the timeline. The timeline actually is really powerful. It can do a lot that I think a lot of people don't fully know. And so there, right, it shows me my movements. Okay. I'm going to unlock first. Okay. So with this playhead, right, there's a few things that I could do. If I long hold on any of these pieces, for example, on this audio, I just put my finger on it and kind of long hold. It gives me these options, right? Delete, start selection, and so on. But let's talk about each of these. Delete. It means it will delete that entire piece as it's broken up. All right, I'm going to skip start selection for now, but split. Split would be like I'm taking like scissors or a razor and I'm actually just cutting that piece in half. This can be really handy, and I'm going to do that. So this can be really handy, especially if I want to remove a portion of a thing that I said. I was either inaccurate or I shouldn't have said it or whatever. It wasn't clear. So as you can see, if I move the playhead, see how it has the little notches in the line there? It shows me where I made the split. And so let's say I also then want to do it here. So I'm going to long hold and say split. And then what I could do is when I long hold that piece, see how it only brought in that little piece? I could then say delete. All right, it makes a gap. But that's okay. So, but just know it does that. So what I can do though, if I say, if I didn't want that gap, right, I could actually do the start selection thing. I could say start selection. And then I just use my finger and I select more. And it actually gives me delete, which I could just make another bigger gap. Or I could say delete and compact, which will then smash it back together. So let's do delete and compact. And there it brings it together like no one would know the difference. But you want to make sure you listen to what you're actually saying just to make sure it makes sense. But that's a couple features. So I'm going to long hold again, show you more. Fade in audio, right? That would just at the beginning of each of that part that you said I'm going to fade in audio for. What it basically does is if you're kind of bringing microphones in and out, it makes sure that there's not kind of pops. Then I can remove the fade in if I didn't like what it did to my audio. So just listen, see how it sounds like. Delete clips from there on out, right? So maybe it's like, all right, I like where I'm at right there, and I like what I've done, but I just kind of want to start over fresh from there. That's when you delete clips from audio. It's a good thing to do is to kind of preview as you go, especially if you're going on kind of a long soliloquy and you're talking for a while. You're going to just make sure you preview it and check it out often. But then you might say delete clips from there on out, but I'm not going to do that there. So let's do it over here, though. All right, say, yeah. Which actually, no, I don't want to do that yet. But that is what you could do because I'm going to show you this. All right, what I could also do, though, is, for example, let's just say I didn't want to actually put anything about the striker. All right, that was a bad choice. All right, so what I could do is I could hold that part, right? And because it's just writing, I could say delete. And then what it does is it acts like I never even wrote that thing. So you could do this sort of thing both with the bottom timeline and the audio and the top as well. What I also really like, let's see, I can hold that there. Just delete that I ever added that image. Or I can delete that I even moved that image. But I'm not going to do that yet because I want to show you. Because what I'll do, I'm going to start selection. Here. Something that I could show you that's kind of cool here is I could smooth. So basically what it does is it makes it so it's not as it's just a more smooth kind of, if I bring it down now, I'm going super slow motion. But essentially what it does is it can make any movements you're doing and kind of just make it not as kind of uneven and wobbly. It kind of smooths it out. And you could do it over and over and over. As well until you make sure you like it right. So I'm going to say smooth, right. Try to just smooth it out as possible, right? But let's say now I don't really want that image there, so I'm going to actually just say delete. And then it took the movement away, right, with what it did. All right, I'm going to start a selection again. So start selection. Cool. All right, now let's look at these other things you can do. So we saw delete and compact, smooth. Now speed up. So maybe that's something that I realized I didn't want to spend that much time writing and undoing. So what I could do is speed up. And I can choose kind of how fast it goes. Now it's also going to be on the timeline. Just so let's say I want it 4 times. So what it does is it shows you that it's doing, and if you look at the clock on the bottom, it shows you that it's no longer is consistent every second, right? It's showing you those kind of frames that way. So when I play back, though, it'll still play.
Earbuds,
right? So you could use that. That's a cool feature. I like that. I'm going to try this again. Start selection. I can go backwards on start selection too. That's cool. Or float your boat. All right. I can also export it as video, so I could just quickly export to my photo timeline that small piece, that video, okay, and of both the audio and the movements and screen, as well as a GIF. I could also do that. And what happens is if I click it, any of them, right, I can send them to files or to photos. I would probably send things to photos first, and then you could send it from there on out, whether it be through email or through your learning management system, such as Canvas, or from AirDrop, or whatever it is. That's what I would do, or save it to the Files app. So what it does is it goes through and exports, and then you just choose a place for it. So this is the timeline, right? So there's a lot that you could do with this timeline, and see, I could choose different things I'm doing there. So there's a lot you can do on this timeline that I think can really improve what you're doing with Explain Everything. Just check it out, see what you can do there. All right.